So there were rumors flying about that there were terrorists inside the kibbutz. A few hours later, it was clear that it was definite that there were terrorists inside the kibbutz. We heard shootings, and we were basically barricaded in for 21 hours until the army rescued us. We kept hearing shootings and gunfire and bombs and alarms, and just didn't know what was happening, just our worst nightmares. We had our chargers, so we had our phones, and we were communicating with anyone that we could, my parents included. And we lost communication with them around 5 p.m. on Saturday. We haven't heard from them since. We don't know what's happening yet. They're the only house in the kibbutz that was not reached yet because there are still terrorists there. So, they couldn't reach it. They're still yet.
2 hours ago?
A few hours ago, yeah.
Every once in a while, they brought more and more people. And once they brought more and more people, we felt some sort of a relief that we know that more of our friends and more of our acquaintances are still alive. But once we came here, then we've noticed how few of us have left. And we heard all of the atrocities that happened there. And sometimes it's just too hard to handle. I mean, the things that we saw, the things that we heard, it's unbelievable.
When the army came into our home, we didn't know that it was the army. We couldn't know. We just heard people coming into our house. They broke down the door, and they went into the house, and they started trying to pull the doors for the safe room out. And at that moment, I was sure that this is it. This is just, and we were sitting there, both of us, with our little innocent baby who was sleeping at the time, and just didn't know what to do. And when we saw that it was our soldiers, when we heard it was them, and we opened the door, we just jumped and hugged them, and just was so relieved. And then I was shaking all over, and I couldn't stop shaking. They took us from our home to a different home in our neighborhood, where they gathered everyone from the surrounding houses.
When we got out of the kibbutz, we walked through the kibbutz itself. Was pretty much most of the time was under fire. We saw the magnitude of the chaos, and
It was an absolute war zone.
it was an absolute war zone.
Cars flipped over, completely wrecked. So it was very dark, thank God. So we didn't really see a lot, but we didn't see some of the neighborhoods, but we know that there were many houses that were burned down completely. And there was, when we got out of the kibbutz, right at the entrance, there was a body, which I hope was a terrorist body, just lying there in the street. And just the cars completely flipped over, completely wrecked, just complete chaos, just the heaven that we know as our home. It's like you can see a little bit around us. It's not very different. It wasn't very different. It's just absolute pure hell that broke loose and destroyed everything that we know. One of the most beautiful places in the world, as far as I know, is completely destroyed. It's just we're still processing it. It's going to be a while, very long. There's no going back from this. How can we go back to live in that beautiful place when we know what happened there, and all the people that we knew, that we saw on the pavements every day, going from the kindergarten and back, then how can we just keep going on like nothing ever happened? At this point, I'm in a numb state that I'm just disconnected from everything and just trying not to. There aren't any good news that come from the people that we've lost communication with, but there's still just a semblance of hope.
שעליו הגיעו המחבלים בהתקפה הזאת ב-6 בבוקר ביום שבת, בשמחת תורה.
Either this way or that way, but do not stand where you're standing. Huh? Go, go.